recording, because if I don't hit that, we will be unhappy. Oh, and Celestine just came, so I'm letting her in. Hi, my name is Malika Albrecht, and I am the founding editor of Redheaded Stepchild. And this is our Thursday book launch, and I am so excited about tonight. I'm gonna hold up my book, Duets. We have Cynthia and Alexis who have done this, and I have been waiting for this. So I don't normally do this, but when it came in, I just said, oh, I'm just going to open and read one poem. Okay, I read the whole book. I tried not to. I tried my best. I stayed up late, but it was just so fabulous. And I have to tell y'all what Melissa wrote, Melissa Studdard, who also has come and celebrated a book on this book launch. I just have to read what she wrote because I thought it perfectly described how I felt. And I just love how she said it. So this is from Melissa in the early praise. If Alexis, Rhone, Fancher, and Atkins hear a lovesick howling outside their windows at night, it won't be some sad wolf trying to get a slice of the moon. It'll be me pining away for more poems. I felt that. I felt
wow. That was nice.
All right, so I'm going to do a brief introduction, and then I'm going to spotlight both of y'all because there is, you know, Cynthia and I were kind of talking. There is kind of this jazz element, and I think that y'all should have fluidity with how you want to do this reading. So with both of y'all spotlighted, I will turn it over. Y'all do whatever you want. I'm here for the ride is what I got to say there. I do want to remind people. Yeah, thank you, Juniper. And no worries. If you would like to read for open mic, just send me a message and I will write your name down. And thanks people for being patient as I am cautious about, you know, how we let people in, just because I don't want Zoom bombers, you know, taking away from any of this. I'm going to read a very brief part of their bios. And I do want to remind y'all that you can go and get this book. If they wanted a signature, they could reach out to the poets, and you can go to Small Harbor Publishing. I will put a direct link in the chat section if you don't already have it.
Thank you.
And if you haven't seen Alexis's photographs on Facebook, you're missing out. Alexis Rhone Fancher is published in Best American Poetry, Rattle, Verse Daily, Tinderbox, Diode, the American Journal of Poetry. I mean, literally fabulous poet, Poetry East. She's authored 6 other publications, 6 other poetry collections, including Moontide Press put out in 2018, Junkie Wife. And then also, I have to say, from New York Quarterly Books, Erotic, New and Selected. If you haven't already checked that out, you want to do this after she reads. And so you can visit the website. I will put a direct link in the chat section so that you can go and wander if you're not already familiar with her work. Cynthia Atkins, we've had a chance to celebrate before, and I was recalling how I first saw her read from her book that we celebrated. It was Still Life with God, and that was put out by St. Julian Press. And she read at Kai's Wednesday Night Poetry, and it was outside, and it was just such a beautiful reading that I fangirled her, and I said, you don't know me, would you come one Thursday and celebrate with us? And she did. It was fabulous. And so now she's brought Alexis, who I, you know, have long wanted to meet and see read. And so I feel like I have just won the lottery.
Thank you.
About Cynthia, author of Psyche's Weathers, In the Event of Full Disclosure, and Still Life with God, which we celebrated. And if you missed it, you can go on YouTube and see that video. Her work has appeared in numerous journals, including Alaska Quarterly Review, BOM, Diode, Florida Review, North American Review, Seneca Review, and Verse Daily. I am coming to y'all right now. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate with us. Yes, hold up the book. And I'm going to co-spotlight y'all, so give me just a second while I figure this out. Let's see, I don't know why it's done that. Let me try a different view. Okay, I'm having technical difficulties. No, it says you're spotlighted, but it's not spotlighting it. So let me just see, add spotlight. Nope, still having the same problem.
Karen.
Karen, can you see if you can help with this one? Because it's not showing.
Let's see,
There we
Alexis.
go.
There we go.
Now we go. And that's what I wanted. Thank you. And that should be both of y'all showing.
Hello.
There we go. Ah, yay, success is mine. All right, guys, welcome. Oh,
It's me.
I'm fangirling too hard. Gotta rein it in.
Thanks
All right,
for
guys.
hosting us, Malika. This is so lovely to be here. You did save us during the pandemic, many of us who had books out, and you know, we were just lost. And then people like you and Kai kind of came and nurtured and saved us, because I was pretty depleted and depressed. I didn't know how to, like I said earlier, I hadn't even heard the word Zoom yet when my book came out, and then all of a sudden the world was closed down. So it was a whole new world. You bring it to us. And I thank you for, you know, being that support. And she, you know, sure enough, you know, has us here tonight. What a lovely support. Thank you. This book is such a joy. My friend Alexis and I, we got ourselves through the pandemic by writing these poems with her beautiful photographs and responding each week to one of the photos and coming back together, critiquing the poems. Our styles and voices couldn't be more different, but we so admire each other's work. She has helped me kind of be more raw, be more wild. There's something about, you know, her voice that is so just, you know, cuts to the quick and inspires me greatly. So I'll hand this over to you, Alexis. You got a few words you want to say before we read a poem?
Just that, thank you for having me and us. Writing this book, we've been friends for many years, and as Cynthia said, it got us through the pandemic. It's a pleasure to write with you, to read your work. And she taught me a lot about civility and wantonness, kind of both sides of the coin. Anyway, I'm ready to read if you are.
Excellent. Okay. Well, our first poem that we're going to read from is what we call the Hopper poem. This photo here, you can see a little bit of it. So we both responded to this poem. Alexis, you want to start?
Yes, I do. This is called We Are All Hopper Paintings Now, and it's a quote from Jonathan Jones in The Guardian, UK, 27 March 2020. That's me, solo table at the automat, staring into a cold cup of tea. Me just out of frame, dancing up to the lonely pump jockey in Gas. My sister says I have a bad picker, that my type, well hung and irresponsible, is very, very bad for me. And she's right. I wouldn't know a good guy. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble reading this. I wouldn't know if a good guy if he snatched me off the street in broad daylight, I tell her. My point exactly, my sister chides. I decide not to tell her about the stranger I'm chatting with online. He wants to send me on a train trip, meet him in Detroit, all expenses paid, and I admit the thought makes me wet. That's me, the woman reading in compartment C car, hurtling cross country toward a brand new life. I text him that I love Detroit, but I'm a fool for muscle cars. He says he's a poet and an artist and a Buddhist, that he hasn't owned a car in years. I confess, romance never ends well for me. Sometimes the loneliness screams so loud, I want to drown myself in a tawdry romance novel with a super sappy ending or a bottomless glass of rye. Sometimes I want to hitch a ride with a comely vagabond, a poet from Michigan, drive off into the sunset. I lived 15 years with the Lakota Sioux medicine man in Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota, he texts. lived on a deserted tropical island off the coast of Thailand in a Tibetan monastery. In Kathmandu, traveled Europe, lived amongst the Bedouin Arabs in the Negev desert. I text back a smiley face and wait. I want to hitchhike to Tierra del Fuego, he responds. You want to go? If only he knew. I'm the woman staring out the bay window in Cape Cod morning, desperate for my latest true love to reappear. He said he's going to the store for bread, gas up the Chevy, be right back. The cloudy sky mirrors my mood. I wait and wait. You should know better, my sister says. There are no rescuers anymore. I know that. I'm the usherette leaning against the wall in New York movie. I've seen that film a dozen times. I'm lost in reverie. Dressed in a thoughtful blue uniform, rebellion looks like the strappy ass shoes half hidden on my feet.
Nice. Beautiful.
Thank you. Your turn.
Diminution, 11 a.m. after Edward Hopper. Blue to yellow, the voice told me not to bathe. The voice said the window is a guardrail. Said today is just like tomorrow. There is no safety from the noise and the sorrow of birds. Told me to sit very still like a red clay pot on a shelf. The voice said, don't take out the trash. Don't make up the bed. Beauty only makes pain bellow worse until the mattress takes up all the air in the room. Said to deadbolt the door where latchkey brats dwell. Once my breasts were savvy as two new bucket seats. The railroad tracks took my love to another town to raise another woman's children. The voice said, the sun will crack your skin like paint on an old wall. The voice said, you're not here, you're an erasure. Said the radio would tune out the pathos of loose wires. Little motes of silence trip the air. My lips are hugging the voice, the chatter of teeth. Make yourself naked. Make yourself null. Make yourself small as a toothpick in his teeth, with shoes like daggers. Thank you.
This next poem is called Bad Mother. And the photo, I'm hoping you can see it. No, probably not. Anyway, Bad Mother. My boy died young. I was a bad mother. So was my mother. My best excuse, when she died young, I fell off the earth. Think Fudd, careen, not spiral. Think death wish, free fall, a blueprint the way I see it. Soupçon for self-loathing with a narcotic chaser. Lovers who'd sell me out for a half gram of coke. Not good choices. My mother threw me to the wolves, loved my sister, the easier one, more, and my brother, more, died when I needed her most. My dead boy sealed my fate, my only one. I pondered suicide, learned to police my head. Mind over matter, my mother said, but she never lost a child. My near fatal accident at 20, the day my little brother almost drowned. Even then, My mother had 2 spare kids. I should have had more.
Whew. That one's, they need a little silence after that for a second. So we're responding to our mother poems and our mother issues, of course. In my poem, this is a poem about my mother just newly getting divorced and starting to date through a dating service before the internet. I don't know how they did it, maybe the newspaper. That's a long time ago. But the big moment for me in this poem is I remember finding her birth control pills, not knowing even what they were, but just knowing they were like something edgy and dangerous, and that's something I shouldn't have tell her that I found. So this is called Jewish Singles. She held a pink can of tab in her right hand, bangles on her hairless wrist, a beehive hairdo, her Liz Taylor look. When sad, her eyes went small like gold purses, clicked shut. The color Kodak family of smiles, faux as a salesman's pitch. Our dad took all the photos until he didn't. One by one, Mom met them at Jewish Singles. The femme perfume on her black cocktail dress lingered until dawn. One night, my sister babysat, and we slimed and puckered with Mom's makeup. We gorged the rouge dark into a widow's peak. Eclipsed in the medicine cabinet, we found the little pink plastic cork of tablets, one for each day of the month. I felt the 10 Commandments gasp for air, a goldfish out of water in my gut. Picturing our mom on the couch at Uncle Irv's, her legs captured by his pasty belly. That night, I bled for the first time, discovered the ache of women. My new flannel pajamas ruined. Some days, a black dog lived on a street in my heart, barked and jabbed at the wire fence, where God stamped a jinx on me. In a December blizzard, while we ate popcorn and played hangman, our mom drove the wicked snowy roads as her Liz Taylor eyelashes blinked with the flashers. That disc of a hole to get to the tome, not made in stone, but feathers in her other bed at Uncle Irv's. We're reading 2 more each. Is that it, right? I think 2 more each. One from the photograph each, and then one that we're just picking that we just want to read. Does that sound okay? Okay.
All right. This is called Roadkill San Pedro. It was written in response to Rattle's Poets Respond a while ago. It's Roadkill San Pedro. Yesterday, a black cat's severed head was found in my neighbor's driveway, just the head. Halloween's around the corner, my lover says, like that explains everything. I think it might be coyotes, but she says no. Finding just the head is indicative of ritual sacrifice. If the coyotes got him, she assures me, they'd have left more behind. My lover is reading a book about humans as predators who invade a territory deplete its resources, infect its inhabitants, then move on and do it all again. She says it's science fiction. I say there's nothing fictional about it. Honestly, I don't know why we're still together, except for the sex. How she knows exactly where to touch me, how I cannot get enough of her mouth. If we could just stay naked, I tell her, we might have a shot. The neighbor's new baby cries and cries today for 30 minutes. I timed it in case something happened and the detectives come calling. You're a born rescuer, my lover says. I think that means she loves me. There's a kitten, I tell her, inside a drain pipe on the corner of 5th and Nelson in front of the ILW Local 63. When I mention I want to rescue him, name him Piper, she snaps. Are you going to change the litter box? Each day we spat over trifles, Vertmiller or Pasolini, smooth or crunchy, reggae or ska. She thinks we should blow our savings, fly to Patagonia like Chatwin, traverse South America. I think we should write our will, choose a cemetery, spend that money on a double wide. We aren't getting any younger. I want things settled, tidy, but she won't budge. I hope to God I die first, I tell her. Leave you with all the chaos. She laughs. Don't be naive, she says. There is no God. Thank you.
One thing that we forget maybe, or that, thinking of the lineage of the pandemic, we remember all the things that were happening right around the same time the world was closing down. We also had a bunch of, we had the murder on the street of a man right around the same time. And then we had protests, and we've had a lot of young Black men getting killed by police. So that photo of that cat inspired this one called 9 Unlives. Who knew air freshener could kill you? Who knew that cherry smelly thing hanging from a rear view mirror could be lethal? But if you're a young Black man just coming from changing your 2-year-old's diaper, just heading off to the store for more, and maybe a candy bar too. If you're that young man, a boy really, with a smile as wide as a cat's whiskers, a smile wiped off the map by a taser, mistaken for air freshener, a gun. When you were 9, called your mother, told her not to worry, be home by dinner. At 18, you slung a ball inside a hoop as if a rabbit's foot of luck. Who knew air freshener hanging from the mirror would be the lowest fruit? In this life, even God might stop you for a faulty blinker, expired tags. You left home 30 minutes ago, anonymous, a dad. An hour later, your life is infamous. A hashtag, a body bag with an air freshener staring at you in the mirror. A young man setting out to the store for some diapers for a toddler with braided hair. She wakes from a nap to her next life. No diapers, no father, Black cats dancing on the windshields of America.
Nice. Oh, I have one more. I don't know if I can, maybe you could see that. It's a woman on a bridge and she's kind of stuck her head in between the pictures of the, I'm sorry, in between the, I don't know what that is. I'm having trouble here, but anyway. This is called In the Drink. They blockaded the beach, the parking lot chained, forbidden, like at your house, changed locks, restraining order, misunderstanding, I tell the judge. Why does no one believe me? I sneak onto the empty pier where we'd stroll, lie down, head vised between two concrete posts. The murky water, just a splash below, seems impenetrable as your indifference. I can make out seaweed silhouetted against the dark, undulating current. Mackerel pulse silver, waves soft slap against the pier, a lull so docile you'd never imagine their rage. Kicked up by a storm, tossed by an aberrant sea dew, like you last night, a tempest. I reduced to a squall, cradled till you returned. I'm sorry, cradled until you realized it was me. Is this what you want? To fuck you and then disappear? I ease my body between the posts, shimmy until I feel the spray, my hair a tangle in the wind. I overheard you on the phone. If I could put a return label on her marked broken and ship her ass back, I would. Someone's killing peacocks. Their bodies bob the harbor, feathers broken, snapped. Cynthia, bring us home.
Okay, I will bring us home, baby. Thank you guys for coming out. I look forward to the poems that we'll hear tonight in your open mics. And thanks, Malika, so much for hosting us one more time on our book. And please go buy our book. It's only $12. We're happy to sign it for you. We'll be happy to read at your readings or book clubs. Please support our book, our press, Harbor Editions, which does beautiful books, and a lot of very cool, edgy people in our press, one here tonight. So yeah, support small presses, and thank you for coming. This is called Crickets. My muse is this time of year when the crickets take over from the locusts and cicadas. They're about to die off because I think we're going to get a frost tonight, but crickets are my thing, and this is an ars poetica, meaning a poem about writing and life. Crickets. In all these days and years, the only thing I've learned is that a poem needs an engine. Not a newscaster with ski slope hair, but colorful sweaters from old dead ants, penumbra of dust motes, crumpled Kleenex, the frayed edges of gossip. A poem is all about the things that happen in the meantime, while you were airing the pillows, driving a carpool. All you missed staring right at what the future knows it won't tell you. There is a radio dial we can go and listen to all of us breathing together, rubbing our chasm of souls in an all-night diner. A poem needs magic, a bell, a hammer, a noise inside a noise. Never the same thing twice. Only the pathos that comes over a crowd. The sound of night eavesdropping on the day. Listen to the glyphs the branches make on a moonlit night. Poem, tenders, no apologies for bad haircuts. It will howl with your stray dogs in the alleyways of cigarette butts. A poem needs an engine, not to be sedate as arts and crafts, glue made with water and flour. No, it needs the wheels to spin in dirt, where someone is kissing for the first time. It needs a wine glass stomped on at a wedding, even if it ends in divorce.
Y'all can unmute. Go ahead and
Thank
I
you.
would just want to take a moment to say what an amazing reading. Yeah, somebody's already written that. Yeah, fabulous poems. So glad I could hear it. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
Oh, is anybody else just so like just awestruck by the range of emotions that went in while we were listening? And I don't know about y'all, but I couldn't even keep up with typing in the lines that resonated. I was finally like, okay, I'll just do every other one because I can't get all of them. Yes. And Susanna just said, I love the idea of dual author collections, especially when it's, those two, right?
Right. Ah.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you both. Thank you both so much. And so I'm going to open it up for questions because I know they talked a little bit about process, but I'm imagining people have some other questions, about how this came together. And I don't think I missed any questions in the chat section. So just unmute. We have a very casual way of being around here. So
I just
jump
want to
in.
say that I love you both, and I'm so glad I got to be here and listen to you read, because you always, both of you, always blow me away. And I just want to say you guys are superb. Or y'all, sorry, I'm country. I say guys with everything. Y'all superb, and I love y'all.
Thank you.
I'll take that. All right, I'll take that.
I guess we're completely see-through. No one has any questions.
I was going to say, I have questions. I'm just, normally I started going, well, I need to know this. I did want to hear a little bit more about like how you chose the pictures. And I wish, I should have taken photographs, Alexis, so that when we were showing, when you were responding to one of the photos, I could have put it up on the computer. I didn't think in advance of how we could have done that. The one, and you read this one that I have to say, I don't know how well y'all can see this, but I'm obsessed with so many of the photographs in there too. And I love how the poems stand on their own. They stand on their own. And then when you look at the photograph, there's a whole nother layer of feelings for me. And so how did you choose which ones to focus on?
Cynthia, you want to
Because
answer?
Alexis, you have tons of photographs. So I'm wondering why these ones or why these?
Well,
Yes,
graciously, each week, Alexis would offer us maybe sometimes 2 or 3 photos. And she kind of often let me pick the one that I was responding to or what I was responding to. So I would say, not always, but I often had a lot of power in choosing the photograph because she was so gracious about it. But I think sometimes she picked a photo too. We both just picked something, but she has thousands of photographs, a lot.
That's
Not
what I
to
was
choose.
thinking. How to
So,
narrow them down.
right.
Well, I chose photos to share that I thought had some kind of desperation or made some kind of a statement, or like that woman who had her neck in between the posts in that. And I mean, I just drove by there and I walked by there and I got, oh my God, I've got to take that photo. It's very often just being at the right place at the right time and putting yourself out there. As far as which ones we chose ones that spoke to us, that we could see ourselves kind of inhabiting that poem. And this all came together very, very quickly.
So it came together very quickly, and that surprises me because I mean, it feels like a longer period of time of dialogue between the speakers and the whole process. But I had a question because Cynthia kind of alluded to this, that working together, yes, you have very diverse voices, very different, and I like that Cynthia said there are ways that you influenced her, Alexis, in particular with being, I think you said braver or taking more risk. And I wanted to kind of revisit that interaction of how you worked with each other's work and what you think you might have gained out of it.
Well, I think that to write with someone week after week, share your work, have it critiqued by that person, takes a lot of trust. And she and I have known each other over 10 years. Cynthia has read my work and edited it. I've done that for her. And with the pandemic, we just thought maybe we would just try this, and it became almost an obsession. And I guess it was about a year, that COVID year, that we did all this. And then we realized we had a book. And I had been asked by Allison Blevins at Harbor Editions if I ever had another book, she wanted to take a look at it. And she took a look at it and said, I want to publish it. And it was just like that. It was very,
I'm sure I wouldn't have hesitated.
out, and then bam.
There's a very intimate nature in the duets to me that I think is, that does have that level of vulnerability and deep abiding friendship. John, Amy wrote fabulous readings, Cynthia and Alexis. Yep, fine and edgy poems is what Julian. Y'all have got a ton of things to read in the chat section. I will be, of course, sending that to both of y'all so that you can at your leisure, read what people were responding to. Does anybody else have something that you wanted to comment or have a question for? Yes, Karen, please unmute, jump in.
Yeah, when you, I loved your reading, thank you. The book sounds great. Can't wait to get it. So when you say that you critiqued each other, how much did you critique each other? Were they little tweaks in the poems? Did you get more extensive coaching on some of the poems from each other, or?
Good question.
I think we often, like anything, some poems need more work, or sometimes the poems just like, you wrote it in your first sitting. We usually read the work aloud to each other. We do this on the telephone and we read it there, and also looking at it on the page. So, we go line by line, and or a prose poem. I think we know each well enough that we know some of our ticks, some of the things that we fall into, the potholes, so we can kind of get rid of, Alexis always says, wow, we've saved so much time by doing this. It'd take us 6 more months to write this poem, that it really helps us to cut to the quick. We're honest with each other. I think we tell each other when something's really wonderful and when something's not quite there yet. You want to add anything, Alexis?
No, I think you did a really good job. I think the one thing I would like to add is this was a commitment. It was a commitment when we started. We're going to write each week. We're going to share the poems. We're going to critique them. We had no idea what we were doing in terms of writing duets. But I think it's very important to answer Karen's question. I think the trust has to be there, that this person you're working with loves you, loves your work, and wants only to make it better. And if you have that agreement and that knowledge going in, it comes out beautifully. At least it did for us. I want to do it again. you know?
It's so exciting. It makes me want to do it. I think of a couple of poet friends that I would have a great time doing that with. Thanks for the inspiration.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It inspired me, you know?
And I love that you want to do it again. And it does, like, hearing them, didn't everybody start thinking of who would I feel that way about? Who would I work with? That's fabulous. I really want to circle back to something that you said, Regina, and I was wondering if you would like just talk about what you put in the chat section, because I do think it's so very important. Regina wrote, I love that you are not afraid to acknowledge what is happening and has happened around all of us, and that you enshrine it in your work. You have to know how that makes us feel as, you know, as an audience, hearing you talk about things and how it impacted us. Regina, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I just felt like I needed to say it. I was so moved by your whole reading. But of course, particularly moved by I don't know if it's an homage, or I don't even know what to call it, of Dante Wright. And you know, a lot of people ignore things that happen. They want to, you know, create this, you know, in their work, they want to create pathways away from it. And I appreciate that you did not, because it's something, and I guess I'm just speaking for me as, well, I don't know who I'm speaking for, but I can say I'm speaking for me as a Black woman with sons. That is very important to me, that people remember and remind. I think it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
That's why we write poems, to remember, to, you know, make something that's so real. And sometimes you feel, I guess sometimes I question as an artist, when are you making something artifice? I've always had a little bit of like guilt over an incident like that. You know, you're making it into art, right, and you're appropriating somewhat of an experience. So where does that line fall where you're doing it, you know, to make people remember this terrible thing, to make them take action or whatever a poem can do. But there's always the fine line, and you always worry a little bit that you're, you know, that you don't want to step over that line. Right. It's a dangerous line, but you also have to take risks, you know. As a white woman, I felt like I took a risk even writing the poem. So even, you know, you feel like, you know, can I take this experience? But it was so powerfully moving to me that, or something tragic happened over such a ridiculous thing, like you can't even believe, literally, that an air freshener was the reason that boy was killed. And, you know, this is the world we're living in now, which is pretty scary. Let's go vote next week or whatever. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you're bearing witness, so that's, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go for it, Scott. Yes.
You know, that poem, you're bearing witness, which I think is a pretty straightforward thing to do, you know. You know, that happened literally 3 miles from where I'm talking to you from right now. It was here in the northern suburbs of Minneapolis, and it was just unbelievable because it happened during the trial, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
And you just thought,
each other.
You just thought, are there just no restraints? Are there no, how can it happen during the trial? It was so unbelievable. Yeah. So I loved it. I mean, it really, maybe just from the proximity to me, it was really powerful, you know.
Well, I think that's a good question that we ask of ourselves in writing, you know, what is this serving? What purpose is it? And you talked about that fine line, but I love that Regina was trying to name, you know, what kind of poem, and homage was what came to mind. And I think that's a very powerful way to describe that poem. And a lot of us were writing down, you know, so many of the lines there because they were haunting. a boy really with a smile wiped off the map by a taser. An hour later, your life is infamous. You left home 30 minutes ago, anonymous. I mean, see how many of those lines, Cynthia, hit home. So, Regina, thank you. I just wanted to, I knew that it would be important to have some dialogue about that. So thank you for writing that comment. And Cynthia, thank you for being brave to write the poem. And I think that both of y'all are very brave, risk-taking poets, and I admire that. And that's one of the reasons why this book, is so powerful. And I understand why Melissa's howling for more.
I mean, just to say something really raw, sorry to interrupt, but Alexis writes a lot about, as we know, she writes a lot about sex, and she also writes a lot about her son that died. And that's hard for me to critique, I mean, I have to really go deep, and she has to trust me to critique a poem like that I know, I'm crying even talking about it. Because those poems, they cut to the quick and deep. And just from having a son myself, and, I get it. So again, art, that collision of where art and real life meet, what we write about, how we have to go over that edge, our own fear, to get to that other side, to write that truth, I guess. It's important.
It is important.
Well, and yeah, and it was palpable when, Alexis, you read your poem, and then Cynthia, you said, a moment like that space was so needed. Just waiting after that poem, just that, oh my gosh, powerful rawness and realness. I'm sure other people feel the same way, but I'm having a whole new layer of respect for both of y'all as writers right now, and as human beings.
Thank you.
I just feel like we were very honored to be a part of this conversation with y'all. So,
Well, I think we both feel the same way. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you, and to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Whew. I know that we have run close to our time, but I have thoroughly enjoyed every minute of our conversation. I do have a list of people for open mic. I'm going to read it. Please forgive me if I have neglected to write your name down. Just send me a message. I have Amy, Susanna, Regina, Charlie, Karen with a K, Karen with a C, and Laura. John, are you not reading? Did I miss you? Okay.
I can read. Sorry, I had to find the mute button. It was lost.
No worries.
I can read if you want me to.
It would be lovely if you would like to. And please know, if you have to leave, we will, certainly, we will certainly understand that.
We'll find you and we will message you.
Yeah, we will miss you. Amy, I'm coming to you first. All right, I still must have, okay, there we go. And I'll take you off a spotlight and remove spotlight. There we go.
Okay. This is from my book, We Became Summer. It's a New York Quarterly book. And the poem is Lessons Learned from Moth. I learned the art of detachment from a destructive pest romanticized by poets whose origins go back millions of years. Celestial nomads that feast on leather, wool, silk, felt, and thrive on night taught me to let go of longing. Animals stuffed with memories, dolls from a distant dad, an embroidered coat from Gimbals. When I returned to my late mother's home, white larvae covered elegant outfits, souls fell from Ferragamo pumps. Moth cunningly coached me to occupy now, not dwell in closets lined with past lives, nor focus on nostalgia, tarnished by death and deceit. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Oh, I love, there's like a lustrous and texture in that poem that I just was like, oh, could feel it was tactile. Susanna, but I have all my favorite people reading today for the open mic. That's awesome. Susanna, I'm coming to you. And I don't know what my delay is with my, there we go.
Okay, so I'm not reading from my book because I'm tired of reading from my book. I need to read something different. So this is Chance Meeting on Central Park South. Where is my friend who mercy fucked a one-armed man in Brindisi, thus doing a good deed for mankind, drunk on table wine, she later said, and losing her virginity in one fell swoop? Here she is on Central Park South, and I can't find that girl in this woman who married someone else, an American, and had 2 kids after disappearing out of my life for decades. And then, what else is there to say about the after? Remember, we smile, standing in front of a row of hotels, memory all we have, both of us in a hurry to be somewhere else. I don't say I remember her tarot card reading, the prediction she'd never truly fall in love. Did she? And where is the one-armed man? Maybe still trawling the port for good-natured tourist girls, or maybe he died there meeting his destiny like Virgil, so that a girl, having walked from Rome to the end of the Appian Way, looks around for someone with whom to mark that journey and finds only a single Roman pillar next to the Adriatic Sea. Thank you.
Oh my God. That was spectacular.
I was talking and I was still muted. Susanna, thank you so much. Oh my heavens. Regina, I'm coming to you.
Okay, I hope my internet does what it's supposed to do. This was actually not the poem I was going to read, but after that reading, this is the poem that I'm led to read. It will be in my book that is forthcoming. Pre-sale start November 28th, The Fire Talker's Daughter. And this is entitled, This Fire Tastes Like. It's a poem of hope. This fire won't look like the last ones did, sin souls torn up, crying, wandering, wondering how to get love back, how to fix life, how to repair. That the last fires tasted like loss, tasted like shame, tasted like despair, tasted like mourning, tasted like no way out, tasted like no way back. Tasted like Tulsa, Elaine, Watts, Wilmington, tasted like my town, tasted like old Epps High, like all it had consumed. This fire tastes different. This fire tastes fed up. This fire has eyes set beyond loss, beyond prison, beyond death, beyond the graves. This fire has new eyes fixed on that new Jerusalem. New fire gonna propel these children into promised land. They won't need the water of the oppressors because they are children of the living waters and raging fires and earth that has promised fertility and pushed out weeds to choke and distract. This fire tastes different. It tastes like energy, tastes like righteous fury. Its fuel is dark kindling root. It will combust from a place so deep, so misunderstood, so underestimated that it will not be contained. This fire tastes different, y'all. It tastes like resolve. It will reject any attempts to thwart combustion, the internal combustion. It will incinerate attempts at trickery, for it has seen the video and believes. It saw murderous hubris. It saw the dead that were tried for dying. It saw the solid stance of patronizing defiance of other fires. It saw the lies, stifling acrid air. This fire tastes different. It tastes alive. It will not stop until there is nothing left that can stop it. It will then scoop the ashes and build Jerusalem. Yeah, this fire tastes different. This fire tastes like revelation. This fire tastes like change. This fire tastes like hope.
man.
Whew, this fire tastes like hope. Oh, oh heavens. So, yeah, go Regina, go in and see the chat section. I mean the repetition, and then tastes like shame, like no way out, no way back. Just amazing. I am wow. Charlie, I'm headed your way.
Gotcha.
I am speechless now.
All right. Oh, here's a poem I like to start readings with because it's memorized and I can look at you. Go to the manuscript. At least usually it's memorized. This is called I-74 Street Corners of America poem. Sunrise over the Rock River. And all over America, people wake to face the day as if nothing were happening. While all around them, mountains are pushed up and weathered down. Rivers flex and flow. New life is born. At a truck stop on I-74 outside of Kickapoo, someone's pumping fuel into a diesel engine to spend the weekend in Colorado. Someone's heart got broken last night in Mississippi. And before the day is over, someone in Cincinnati will fall in love. Someone's had enough and leaving home in Topeka. Someone in Tacoma's got the blues. It's a carnival out there, a casino. Which way the cards will fall is anybody's call. One thing's for sure, we're all in this together. At least I'm in. How about you? Come on, ante up and deal.
That's awesome. Thank you. Y'all are bringing fire tonight, and somebody literally brought it. That's fabulous, guys. Thank y'all. Tina wrote, love it. I'm heading to Karen with a K. So give me a second to find you and make it the spotlight.
Thanks. Wow, Charlie. Now I want to write a poem with the word kickapoo in it. This is from my second book, No Such Thing as Distance. They say we are not the body, and they're probably right. When I broke through the railing, then fell 8 feet off my deck, it sure felt like my body, the snap of humorous bruises coloring my right hip like a world map. The heart injured from falling out of marriage is not an out of order heart. It still beats the slow meter of grief or anger's adrenaline drum. Once I heard a guru discuss out-of-body episodes. Floating, he didn't even want to be that boring thing below. He told of those under anesthesia who'd watched their own surgeries, then recounted details only a doctor would know. And what about the body asleep in mother's hospice bed? I sensed she was already in the green room, stepping into a turquoise dress, fluffing her hair, blotting her new lipstick, fire engine red. Thanks.
Karen, I have to
Holy
tell you, I am a huge fangirl of your work. And it's just so nice to see you here tonight. Kind of meet
Thank you. Well, I'm a mutual fangirl of your work, so it's great to see you. And I love your pigtails. I want them.
It's my Denise Duhamel look.
I
She's
love
got
her
that
too.
gorgeous blonde hair, and I thought if she can do it, you know. Thank you.
That makes me so happy. I love that. I love that we get to all, enjoy each other's work so deeply. And Amy, I'm sorry that the time didn't show up as the correct one. It happens. I'm heading to Karen with a C now. There you are, Karen. You can probably spell
Right.
yourself.
Thanks. Okay, so this is a poem I wrote. I think I was actually in overwhelm when I wrote this. I went to I guess the best way to describe it is a New Age festival at an exhibit hall at the State Fairgrounds. And there was a lot going on there. So much so that I just started taking notes. So I guess this is a collage poem from that. Taking notes at the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo out of context. 4 different speakers are speaking at once in 4 different areas of the same center, filled with row after row of practitioners and peddlers of practitioners talking and gesturing and rubbing and clearing. Create a mantra as a spell for yourself. The planets are now aligned as they were during the American Revolutionary War. Karmic grief is programmed into us. Get rid of soul static. Listen to your gut's yes or no answers. The gut is the energetic center of the soul. Automatic writing can be helpful. Think platinum or gold light as a shield. Someone's coming through. A grandmother, okay? There's a man from Germany, but he came here. He was here. He loved sauerkraut. Something tasting sour. He wants you to make it. I feel wood. He worked wood. He's a woodworker. He's stroking it. Bring your energy behind your eyes and send it down to your feet. Sweep yourself with crosses. Take a sea salt bath. Drop your aura down the drain in the shower and let the new aura fall onto you. Ask, is this my feeling or someone else's? Then give it to the earth, or turn a knob to dial it back. Keep your aura to yourself. Our bodies don't lie.
Oh, wonderful.
That's
It was a
fabulous.
thing.
I'm having so much fun. The wordplay is, and also, you know, the new aura falling on me. Oh, I had too much fun with that one. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks. It
Love
was
your
fun.
accent. So sweet.
Yeah. Laura, I am coming your way so you can unmute. Thanks.
Okay, I'm unmuted, and Karen, I think I might have been at that Mind Body Expo with you. It sounds too familiar. Okay, this is a short one. It's called Quantum Life. I exist, a small particle, unseen by the naked eye, in 2 places at once, or maybe in the in-between, at the border, where you raise the gate, stamp my passport, and welcome me to exist in a whole new land. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. And welcome me to exist. I love the unseen by the naked eye too. That sent me off in different places. Thank you, Laura. And John, you can close this out.
Hello. I want to say a few things first. I'm sorry, I ramble. So I just want to say I love everyone's poems. And Regina, your glasses are amazing. I'm super jealous. And also Amy's here. And I just want to, I know this isn't her reading, but y'all be okay. Her book, One Day I'm a Field. I recently got it and I'm reading it, and it is, oh my Lord, like just curl up and just, it's so good, and it's so emotional, and I love Amy and she's a sweetheart. But I just wanted to say that because she was here, and I haven't got to tell her how great her book is to me yet. So this was my opportunity to say it to her here. Anyhow, so I'm gonna read a poem from a new book. The Castration of a Minor God, and pre-orders are November 1st. And I'm gonna disappear because it's on my phone and I have to go to it, so sorry. All right, and it's called His Hair Went Up Like a Wick. Lost in the atmosphere, wanting the flames to undress my body and ashes cover my mother's face, I want her to remember a beautiful son. When I killed my only dear, I cried. It wasn't that she was dead, but alive, observing her blood. She pled from her eyes. My father told me to shoot her again, not evil, but love. The second bullet would be peace, where the first forgot its duty. And that is my poem.
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful ending.
Yeah, lovely. Yep, the second bullet would be peace. Thank you, John. And congratulations on all the good news that you've been having.
Yeah.
Look forward to having you back here sometime.
Yes, anytime. I'm available for you whenever.
Okay, we'll work that out.
Oh.
So and Alexis and everybody that was here and that read for open mic. It has been a lovely night with y'all in this good company and poems that just have left me speechless. I'm not normally like stumbling over my words, but here I am. Be well.
Wonderful work, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Beautiful poems.
This will be recorded, right? So I get to hear it.
It is
even though I'm
indeed.
late?
Yes. Yeah, Amy, don't worry about I'll post it in the Facebook event page, and then I'll send it to both Cynthia and Alexis, and they can post it as well along with the chat section. It happens. If I didn't have messages on my phone that rang, Thursdays and things like that, I would have the same issue. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.